Hello fellow gardeners, if you've ever struggled with dry, tired soil or wondered how plants in harsh desert conditions manage to thrive, you're in the right place. Today I'm going to share a secret that's been passed down through generations in arid regions, a simple, yet incredibly effective method to keep your soil alive, healthy, and teeming with nutrients without relying heavily on water. It's something I've personally tested in my own garden, and the results are nothing short of amazing. I like to call this the forgotten desert trick, and it involves a technique gardeners often overlook, harnessing the power of fermented plant juices to feed both the soil and your plants naturally. Whether you're growing tomatoes, peppers, leafy greens, or fruit trees, this method can be adapted for any garden size, and it's surprisingly easy to implement. Before diving into the technique, let's talk about something crucial: passing on accurate information. I've seen countless gardeners follow vague secret recipes online or in books, only to end up with burned plants, wasted ingredients, or disappointing growth. The difference between success and failure often comes down to one thing: the right ratios. Fermented plant juice is incredibly potent. Too concentrated, and it can overwhelm your plants. Too diluted, and it won't provide the boost your soil needs. That's why I want to give you tested, step-by-step guidance that ensures your soil and plants get exactly what they need, without guesswork. In desert regions, water is scarce, but certain indigenous farming techniques have kept soil fertile for centuries. The trick is surprisingly simple: fermenting local plants to extract their nutrients, then applying them directly to the soil. These fermented plant juices are full of beneficial microbes, enzymes, and natural sugars that feed soil microorganisms, improve nutrient retention, and ultimately help plants thrive even under dry conditions. What's truly fascinating is how these juices act like a living tonic for your soil. They don't just provide nutrients, they actively improve soil structure, encourage microbial activity, and create a healthier ecosystem for your plants. I've noticed in my garden that soil treated this way stays alive and vibrant far longer than soil relying solely on water or synthetic fertilizers. Let's get into the hands-on part. I've experimented with 2 separate fermented plant juices using different plants, and here's a guide you can follow at home. For this example, we'll assume a small garden of roughly 10 square meters. Materials. You'll need 2 different types of fresh plants. For example, comfrey for FPJA and moringa for FPJB. Clean containers with tight lids. Glass or food-grade plastic works. Sugar or jaggery to kickstart fermentation, and non-chlorinated water. Harvesting the plants. Choose healthy, vibrant plants. The idea is to capture the plant's full nutrient potential. Cut the leaves and stems and avoid plants that show disease or damage. For a 10 square meter garden, you'll need roughly 1 kilogram of fresh plant material per FPJ batch. Preparing FPJA, take your first plant, comfrey in our example, and chop it into small pieces. Mix it with a 1-to-1 sugar by weight to help fermentation. Place it in your container, add a little non-chlorinated water to cover the plant matter, and seal it. Leave it in a warm, shaded area for 5 to 7 days, stirring daily. You'll notice bubbles forming as fermentation takes place. That's exactly what you want. Once it smells pleasantly sour, not rotten, dilute it 1 to 20 with water before applying to your garden. Preparing FPJB. Repeat the same process with your second plant, moringa, for instance. Again, chop finely, mix with sugar, ferment for 5 to 7 days, and dilute 1 to 20 before application. The beauty of trying 2 FPJs is that you can compare results and see which plant works best for your garden conditions. Now that your FPJs are ready, it's time to feed your soil. Let's start with a 10 square meter garden as an example. After diluting each FPJ 1 to 20 with water, go ahead and apply roughly 2 liters of the diluted solution per square meter. That's 20 liters for your entire garden patch, enough to soak the soil lightly without oversaturating it. Application is best done in the morning or late afternoon to avoid the midday sun, which can stress plants and reduce nutrient absorption. Pour the solution directly onto the soil at the base of the plants, rather than on the leaves, to feed the root system. I like to repeat this process weekly or bi-weekly, just depending on the dryness of my soil. Over time, you'll notice the soil becoming darker, richer, and crumbly, a clear sign that microbial life is flourishing. This is where gardening gets exciting. I encourage you to set up an experiment in your garden. Apply FPJ A to half of your plants and FPJ B to the other half. Keep everything else, sunlight, water, and soil, identical. Track changes over 2 to 4 weeks. Look for greener leaves, faster growth, stronger stems, and better fruit set. Take notes and even photos to compare. In my own garden, I've seen Comfrey FPJ produce slightly more vigorous leafy growth, while Moringa FPJ seem to enhance flowering and fruiting. These differences may vary in your garden, but that's the beauty of experimentation. You learn what works best in your specific conditions. Why does this desert trick work so well? FPJs are essentially a concentrated dose of nutrients combined with beneficial microorganisms. When you apply them to soil, you're not just feeding plants, you're feeding the microbial ecosystem. Healthy microbes improve nutrient uptake, break down organic matter faster, and even help plants resist stress from drought or pests. In short, you're creating a self-sustaining soil environment that reduces the need for constant watering or synthetic fertilizers. So, while this technique is pretty forgiving, there are a few things I've learned that, honestly, make a big difference. First off, use fresh, healthy plant material for fermentation. Old or diseased plants can introduce unwanted bacteria, and that's definitely something you want to avoid. Next, don't rush the fermentation process. Just let the natural microbes do their work. Patience really does pay off here. Also, make sure to dilute FPJ properly. A 1:20 ratio is a safe starting point for most garden plants. If it's too concentrated, it can actually stress your plants, which isn't what we want. And finally, observe and adjust. Every garden is different, and things like soil type, sunlight, and plant variety might mean you need to tweak things just a bit. The real magic of this desert trick is its ability to revitalize soil without relying on water. By feeding the microbial life directly, FPJ improves soil structure and nutrient retention. In sandy or arid soils, this can be a game changer. Plants still need some moisture, but the soil becomes far more resilient during dry periods. You'll notice that even with minimal watering, plants remain green and productive, a true testament to the power of healthy soil biology. I've been gardening for years, and I can honestly say that techniques like this transform not just plants, but the gardening experience itself. There's a profound satisfaction in knowing your soil is alive, your plants are thriving, and all of it comes from understanding and respecting natural processes. It's sustainable, cost-effective, and deeply rewarding. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this, it's that healthy soil is the foundation of a thriving garden. The forgotten desert trick of using fermented plant juices is a simple, practical way to keep your soil alive, productive, and resilient, even in dry conditions. Remember to follow the correct ratios, observe your plants carefully, and don't be afraid to experiment with different plants for FPJ. Your garden is your laboratory, your sanctuary, and your teacher. Treat it well, feed it thoughtfully, and it will reward you with vibrant growth and abundant harvests. And if you found this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Soil Sage Chronicles and share it with fellow gardeners. There's always more to explore, test, and learn together, and your garden deserves every advantage nature has to offer.